Alright, hi everyone. In this Packet Tracer lab, I'm going to be dealing with Packet Tracer 2.91, and you can see the configuration, the physical configuration that I have here, and this is what we want to deal with. I've skipped video the lab 2.8. I've skipped 2.8 labs, and that's because that lab is straightforward, so I'm skipping it. I'm skipping that. So in this video I want to quickly demonstrate how we configure our switch and then check connectivity to our end devices. So we are going to be doing 2.91 and 2.92 here in this video. If you look at the information we've been given here, it is said that we have devices in room 145, room 146. One is used by one PC, which is this PC is used by the manager, and the other one is used by the reception, and then they both belongs to this to VLAN 1, and this is the IP address and subnet mask for each PC, and the switch virtual interface. So the VLAN virtual interface on the switch, so we assign IP address to those as well. So objectives, what we are going to be doing is we are going to configure the host names and IP address on two Cisco Internetwork operating system switches using the command line. Use Cisco IOS command to specify or limit access to the device configuration. Use IOS command to save running config. Configure two host devices with IP address. Verify connectivity between two PC end devices. So that's what we want to do. So look at the scenario here. So they say, as a recently hired LAN technician, so you are a LAN technician, your network manager has asked you to demonstrate your ability to configure a small LAN. Your tasks include configuring initial settings on two switches using the Cisco IOS and configuring IP address parameters on host devices to provide end-to-end connectivity. You are to use two switches and two hosts on a cabled and powered network. So even before looking at the requirement, these are what they want us to be able to do on these switches. The question is, according to this scenario, you are now a network engineer and you are going to be managing the LAN of your organization, and your line manager wants to see how comfortable you are, or wants you to demonstrate your ability to configure a small LAN. So when they say a small LAN, local area network, that means you are just going to be configuring devices within your local area network. So router won't be involved here. So that's what this means. So, and that's why we don't have a router here. And then to click, let's start by clicking on this switch, room 145. If you see, it says configure is locked. Okay, so I can actually click on that and go to the CLI and configure it, and the same thing happens to this. I can do that, and that's why I have this cable here. Can you see that? I think green up, I don't know what color that is. So this one here, this very cable here, this one, that's why I have it there. This cable is called a console cable, and you use a console cable to connect to your switch, so through using a terminal. Yeah, so that's what we are going to be doing. So without this, we won't be able to manage this switch, and you can see I'll connect it to the console. Okay, I'll connect that to the console port of the switch, and here it is connected. You need to know it is connected to the RS232 here. So that's what we do, and you should know this one is connected to the network interface fast Ethernet 0. So let's go ahead and configure this switch by clicking on this and go to desktop, and from desktop I can see where it says terminal, and from terminal I'm just going to click on OK, and that will brings me into my switch, and now I'm in my switch. So if there's a password already set on here, so let's check what is the password now. The password is the password for the switch. I think that must mean, let me just check, that must mean that I've done this configuration before, and if I have done, I will just remove it. So is the password, I'm looking for the console password. Use this password for all lines, use this. Okay, I think the password is R4XE3. Yeah, that's the password. And enable, the enable password is C4AJ, capital J A C4A capital J A. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reload and remove all the configuration on this switch, so that we can start all over again. And in order to do that, I'll go to conf t and say erase start up config. If I say erase start, did I not spell that well? If I go back to, let me do exit. If I say erase start, yes, so, and I'm going to reload my switch. Yes, so that means I can now restart, and I'm going to do the same command on here. I'll reload it. That means why I'm having this issue, because I have done this, but I forgot I've done it before when I was just practicing for myself. So what I'm going to do here also is to remove everything I've done, and in order to remove everything I've done, I need to run the erase command at the privilege mode, and that will take everything off for me. So I will just say erase start. So by erasing start, everything will be removed for me. The file system will remove all configuration. Have you removed it? Erase start. Show start. Just want to see if it's still there. Okay, there's nothing, so I can reload now. Reload. Yeah, so now, and that's another thing we have all learned together. Now that I've removed all the initial configuration that I've made, we should then be able to start afresh. So now we're going to start. Remember, we can't click on here because it's locked, so I need to go on here. So now that I'm here, it's still asking me for password. What's the password? I have to stop now. Alright, so now it's working perfectly. I have removed all configuration. It's the same command you have to run, so it's just take a while for this to come back to normal. So once that's done, remember I'm clicked on this PC and I console in, I connected to my switch, so I'm managing this switch Ubuntu 145, and this is what they want us to do. This, so quickly let's do that using my notepad, so that will make it easy for us. So if we go to notepad and start typing whatever it is they want us to use, all the commands here. So they say which you use a console connection to access the switch, which we have done. Name the switch room 145, so we'll say enable. Host name is room 145. that's the host name, and they say we should use R4XE3 password for all lines. So line console 0, the password is R4XE3, that's line console 0. So and line VTY, so for the VTY line, so I can't remember what the command for that is. We'll do that later. So let's do enable password, isn't it? Enable password. So I'll say enable, which is one there, enable password, and they want us to be C4A capital JA, and they want us to encrypt all clear text. So in order to encrypt all clear text, all clear password, we use service password encryption. That's what we used to do that. And then they want us to configure an appropriate message of the day, MOTD. So in order to configure MOTD, we say banner MOTD, use the $, and say authorized access only, and then you have the same delimiter. So that's done. Then configure addressing for all devices according to the IP addressing table. So they want us to use this. So and what we have to do now on the switch is to configure the VLAN 1 IP address. So what you do in that case is you say is that right? Yeah, you say you go to the interface VLAN 1, then you have IP address, that's the command. The IP address given to us is 10.10.10.100, which is this one at the top there with 145, and the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and then we need to issue the no short command there after that. And then they want us to save our configuration and verify connectivity between all devices after doing this on the second switch. So what I'm just going to do is copy this and then bring it here, Ctrl V, sorry, I just need to paste, and you can see nothing works. For some reason nothing works. So okay, I know why is that. So that's good to see that after enable I need to add configure terminal, so that it takes me to the global exec mode. So let's do that again. Let me go out and then just paste it here, and you can see everything is worked. Line console 0, R4, that's the only place where there is a problem, I guess. So that's done. Let me exit and see. Because of this, I believe there is a problem there and that has to be fixed. So let's do that now. Line con 0. Okay, that's true. That should be a problem. Password should be R4XE3, and that password is done. Now I can have a login command there, so that's done. So we need to save the configuration they said. So if I say exit again, and I can then say copy run start. and that will be saved for me. And if we say show run, I can see everything that I've done. And as you can see, this is the IP address that we set. This is the line console 0 password. There is one more thing that we're asked to do, which I forgot the command for, but I think I remember now, which is if we go to conft, there is line VTY 0 to 15. They want that to be the same thing as this. So we say password R4 XE3, enter, and that's done. So we can say copy, run, start again. So that's done. Exit, or you can use end, copy, run, start, and that's saved also to our config now. So what I can just do now is come back, close this, come back here, that's corrected, line console 0, the password should be like that. So we can always say leave a space so that we understand what we are doing, line console 0, and this has to have the login command. Yeah, so this is correct, enable password is right, password encryption is right, this one is right, and this one is right. So I can now say the other one that I have to do now is room 146. Okay, so I'll just change this to 146, and all I have to do is just copy this O command, copy them, copy, and then go to the other switch. Okay, there's one more thing we need to change. We need to change the IP address here. Remember, the IP address for this is 10.10.10.150. So I need to change that to 150. Then now I can copy this. That just makes your life easier if you can type the command here in an exam, and then you can just start pasting them. So terminal, okay, so all I have to do is just paste it here, and that's it, everything is done. And all I have to just do now is to save, copy, run, start, and that's it with the switches. So the next thing we want to do is to configure the IP address of our PCs. So, and in order to do that, let's do managers PCs first. IP address is actually done for us. It's actually done for us, so we don't have any problem doing that. And this is also done. Let's confirm that it's done for us, so we can test connectivity now. So if we say I'm on managers PC, if I say ping, if I want it to ping the reception PC on 10.10.10.5, we should have a reply, and that's it working. So this is very straightforward. This is a very direct practical lab. Just make sure you're doing all these things. You are going to get used to knowing the commands offhand, and after knowing the commands, that makes your life easy. So that is done. The other thing that I would like to do now would be to show us the second part to this. So I'm going to close this. So let me just show you one more thing before I go. You might want to, sometimes if we go here and go back there, okay, let me do it on the second one. Let me do it here and go back to terminal again in order to access my switch. You might want to just remove everything you have done, all the configuration, which was what I was doing earlier. So in order to do that, the command is erase. Then if you put, what's it called, a question mark. So erase, what do you want to erase? You want to erase startup config. Everything you have done that you have saved will be in the startup config. So if you want to remove it, all you have to do is say start, app config, press enter, and it's going to ask you, erasing the NVRAM, the non-volatile RAM file setup will remove all configuration files. Do you want to continue? If I say yes, everything is done. Everything is removed right now, because if I say show start, I can't see nothing. Okay, you can see it says startup config is not present. But one other thing, if we ping this PC from manager again, it will still be working. We are still going to have replies even though we have deleted the startup config. Can you see that's working? That is because here on this switch you have only deleted the startup config. Your running config, which is the configuration that is running presently, is still on your switch. So if you really know that you want to lose everything after you have erased it, you need to reload this this switch. You need to reload it. So if I say reload, so it's going to reload itself, and then there will be no running configuration, and when it restarts, it's not going to see anything in the startup config. Then we cannot, you can see now, so now we cannot. Let's try and ping it now, and now we won't be able to ping it because it has no startup running config again. So if I do, you can see nothing happens now. Yeah, nothing happens now. And more thing, you can see timeout. Another thing I would like to also show is the fact that if we are on this switch now, if we go out, exit, everything we have done is already working because we have been hacked. The password we set, this is what is asking us. So the first password that is asking me for is the console password, which is R4XE3. And then if I type enable, that's asking me for the enable password, which is C4AJA. Please pay attention to that, and you can see our switch is back on. So if I go back to the one that we've deleted everything now, I can just quickly add everything back by just going to my notepad, copy it and come back there and just paste it there, and then that's everything done. And then I can just end and save the configuration. Copy, run, start. So that's done, and that's all with this video. And the other part which I would like to show us, I don't want to save, just go away. So the other part, which is 2.92 packet tracer. So this other one is a physical mode packet tracer, where we have to do, oh my god, that's a mistake to close my notepad. So you can see it's the same thing they still want us to do, the same information, but then they just want it to be in the physical mode. So you can read this, okay, you can read this, but I just want you to know it's the same thing they still want us to do. All they just request from us is to make sure that we do it in the physical mode. So we have S1 and S2. So what I'm going to do, you can see this is S1. I'm going to bring it to the shelf, and to the rack. Where is S2? This is S2. I'm going to bring S2 also to the rack. So we have two switches and then two PCs and two switches. So I have both of them now. I don't want it to be like that, man. Okay, if that's how you want to be, that's fine. Okay, so these are the two switches I've got. So for you to, what they want us to do is the same thing like I said. So they want us to connect PCA. Which one is PCA now? Let me just remove this first. So this is PCA. You can see here PCA. So they want us to connect PCA to switch S1. Which one is switch S1? Let me take this off for now. So this is switch S1. Can you see? So let's connect that, and I'll bring the other one later. So let's do this. If I quickly want to do this, you know, like I said in the previous video, in order to connect a PC to a switch, we are going to use a straight through cable, and these are the cables at the top here. here, all you have to do is get a straight through cable. So let's bring this on. We can actually inspect the front, and you can see it's currently off. We can bring it on, and then the same thing with our switch. We can do the same thing by inspect the front and make it big, and then you can see everything is okay here. So this is fine for now. What we want to do is PCA. We want to connect it to FA06 on the switch port. So what I'm going to do is get my straight through. Just check for which one is the straight through cable. That's what I'm looking for. I think that's straight. Yeah, this is the straight through cable. So if I click on it, then click on here, and then I need to inspect this in order to get to the right one. So 06 should be here, should be this. Can you see that? And that's connected now. Can you see this cable? That shows that I've connected that. And then I can do the same with let me go and bring S2 now. Okay, yeah, I'm just arranging them like that. So this is S2 and this is PC2. PC2 goes to S2 F018. So if I inspect the front, I can bring it on also. You can see this yellow sign means it's on now, and then I can get my straight through cable, and then connect on that. Yeah, close this, and then this is my other switch. So I need to connect it to, let me inspect the front and then take it to 018. Your number is there. Okay, let me connect this again. Cable is already connected there. Okay, so I'm looking for 018, 18. That's it. So, and that's it. Both of them are connected. And now we need to connect the switches to one. We need to connect the switches also. So FA01 to FA01. So in order to connect the switches, we need to use a crossover cable. So that's what we need to use. This is the crossover cable. So if I click on the crossover cable, I can inspect the front to make it big, and this is FA01. Click on that, close it, and go to the other switch also, inspect the front, and this is FA01. And then we have done all our connections. And now that we have done all our connections, we can start managing our switch by clicking on the switch. Okay, you can see what has happened here. The switch is off for now also. So in order to switch on the switch, go to inspect the rear. So if you inspect the rear, the switch is fine. I think they've just locked us down. They don't want us to configure the switch by clicking on the switch. The CLI has been disabled. So in order to get this done, is that what they want? Let me just confirm that. So I just need to get what they want now. So I was right. So what they want us, in order to be able to configure the switch, they want us to use a console cable. So in order to do that, what I'm just going to do is inspect the front, and you can see here, this is where you connect your console cable. So I'll get my console cable. Is that it? I'll click on here, RS32, and then I'll come to my switch. Let me close this and inspect the rear of my I think that's the rear. Yeah, I was right. So this is the console port on the switch, and I'll do that. And I'll do the same thing with my other switch. Okay, so with my other PC, so I'll just do the same thing by getting the second console cable, which is this, and then click on there, and then inspect the rear of this, and then I want the rear, and then click on that, and that's it. So now I can manage the switch from the PC. So remember, this is PCB switch S2, this is switch S1 and PCA. So if I click on here, go to desktop terminal, just the same way we've done the other one, I'll be able to manage this switch now. So you can see I'm in my switch. What switch is that? Switch S1. So what they want us to do now, the commands. So let's see the commands. Let's see the commands. So yeah, on the switch, starts from here. Enter the global configuration mode. That's not a problem. They want us to configure banner MOTD VLAN 1. Okay, save the configuration, display iOS version. So all these things, let me just quickly run this up. There's not much for us to do in here. So desktop, terminal again. Okay, so all they want us to do is just to name this switch. So enable, let's use the same thing. Let's use Notepad also. So Notepad will make our life easy. So they want us to, let me say, enable configure terminal banner MOTD. So we have banner MOTD $, authorized, what they want us to say there. Okay, authorized access only, another delimiter. So that's done. After doing that, what's next? Okay, host name, we need to name our switch as S1. Okay, we need to configure the VLAN interface. So I will say interface VLAN 1. It's just the same thing we've done in the other one. So 192.168.1.1 255.255.255.0. let me home, and let me have my IP address, and that is that. Okay, so, and I'm going to say no shutdown to bring that on. Let me see, what more information do they want us to do on here? Repeat this step, display status information, use enter local password, use, so enter local password, use class as the privilege exec and Cisco as the password for console. So they want us to use Cisco as the console password, line con 0. They want us to use password Cisco, login. Remember, without the login command, your password will not work for you. So, and after that, they want us to use class as the privilege exec. So enable password, they want that to be class. So now that everything is done, this is all they want us to do on here. I'll just copy and go into my switch and just, let me see, did I start from enable here, and just paste it there, and that is done. Can you see we have no error message, and they want us to save. So if I just end this, copy run start, so that's done for me. Actually, I can complete it by saying, after you've done that, end that, and then do copy run start, so that it's easy. So the next one is S2. I'll just change this to 2 and change the IP address to dot what 192.168.1.2, and then that's done. Just copy that also, copy, and then go back to my switch, which is that's this PCB. Actually, Actually, I've made a mistake because I've configured PCB instead of PCA. So what I'm just going to do is just leave it like that, and I'll come and do this one now. Okay, so it's still the same. It's still the same thing. But please don't make that mistake in your exam. So that's done now. We've done both. Okay, we've done both now. So the next thing is to check the IP address of each switch. Config desktop, close that, go here, and then the IP address of PCB. So I'll just do 192.168.1.10.245.245. That's correctly done. And the IP address of PCA, one 92.168.1.11.255.255.255. Let's ping PCB now to see if everything is working. So I'll just say ping 192.168.1.10, and that's it. We're done. This is all we're asked to do. And this is how easy you can make it look if you really know what you're doing. So if I exit, it should ask me for a password, and that password is Cisco. And if I enable, it should ask me for password, and that password is class. And that's all we are asked to do. Please make sure you are doing your practical. Just take your time to do them. That will make your exam easy for you. Thank you very much for watching this video, and let me know if you have any question or something you want me to treat, and I will do just that. Thank you very much. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.